Hey guys, here's my presentation called Millennially Branding, Generation Y's Approaches to Ethical Brand Management. First, I'm going to kind of go over what brand managers do, and then I'm going to go over who millennials are. So brand managers, they're people in a business that make decisions that influence a brand's public perception. This involves developing, measuring, and building the company's image. This is carried out through developing strategies, implementing tactics, and performing duties. And so within this brand management lies promotion, and this promotion includes how the brand's image is used in order, to get consumers to buy their goods or services. And through this, they always have to maintain a positive representation of the company. And they just have to keep making sure that the products and services are relevant to their audience and consumers. And so, yeah. And so then who are millennials? Well, they're individuals born between the years 1980 and 1995. They can also be considered Generation Y. They're basically called millennials. They're known for being familiar with media and digital technology because we, who are millennials, have grown up during a time when the internet was pretty much developing. A summary of my study. I did 8 in-depth interviews, 3 over the phone and 5 in person. I originally had 10 agree to participate in the in-depth interview, but 2 fell through. After their interviews were conducted, their responses throughout the study were compared to the AMA's American Marketing Association, AMA's Code of Ethics. The respondents were not asked questions directly about each value within the Code of Ethics. I'll go into that later, but their answers and examples provided enough data to compare and analyze if millennials, are following the AMA's Code of Ethics in their everyday business practices. And that's kind of just what I really wanted to look at. Okay. These individuals, these millennials, they all work across the state of Texas. Their job title is not necessarily brand manager, but their job at their workplace involves managing the brand's reputation and, and the image to consumers and audiences. All these individuals have college degrees and were the beginning stages of their career, or are at the beginning stages, and they all have positions in various industries, including education, broadcast news, nonprofit, healthcare, food, and hospitality. So now to the American Marketing Code of Ethics. The AMA is pretty much a resource membership association that people can join to just kind of receive the training and tools they need to better, their marketing practices for their business. So within this lies the AMA's Code of Ethics, and this Code of Ethics is expected to be followed by their members, and because they're a representation of this organization. Within this Code of Ethics, there are ethical norms. The 3 ethical norms are do not harm. The second one, foster trust in the marketing system. And 3 is embrace ethical values. So that leads to the values that they have rank ordered, which are honesty, responsibility, fairness, respect, transparency, and citizenship. And like I said earlier, I didn't really analyze the norms that millennial brand managers practice, but it's interesting to see what the AMA, why the AMA has these standards and how it relates to the values. So if we go into the results, the first one is honesty. It's a value centered on providing factual information, telling the truth and avoiding deception. Marketers are supposed to honor their promises and remain faithful to their product despite what happens. From what stuck out in my interviews, it seemed like the individuals in healthcare and the nonprofit sector touched on honesty the most compared to the others. A quote from the brand manager in the health industry, here's an example. I think when promoting a brand, it's important to be honest with its services you offer and to not lie to people just to bring them in. That kind of promoting would have a lot of negative effects because the people will get upset when they don't get the service you promised them. By lying, you only ruin the reputation that you were trying to build in the first place. For example, this person, they have a background in science. They got a Bachelor of Science in Biology. But this is the first time they're using that degree but at a healthcare office, but to do brand management, so they're kind of finding the way to balance the medical field and being a brand manager. Next was responsibility. You know, marketers serve their customers and stakeholders, recognizing their commitments and considering, just considering stewardship. Within responsibility, you have to accept your consequences to the actions. You serve your stakeholders, like I already said that. Pretty much all of the brand managers felt it was their responsibility to make their good or service desirable. The individuals in broadcast media and education put the greatest emphasis on responsibility. Back to responsibility, the broadcast news station felt it was their responsibility for people to know about the news, and it was the brand manager's responsibility to tie all that back into the brand. Fairness, I found that fairness, when compared to our book, that it lies pretty much under the justice category. By presenting factual, balanced information, marketers are supposed to present stories from all sides and not let pre-existing conflict of interest get in the way. This was of great interest to the broadcast news media again. One of the individuals I interviewed, he said, journalists are supposed to be sharing stories in a fair and balanced manner, which then reflects the news station's image and brand. Next was respect. And when again comparing it to our ethics book, I found that it's similar to humaneness. It's designed to acknowledge all contributions and value all viewpoints. No one directly referred to the value respect, except the person in the nonprofit. She stressed the importance of treating her stakeholders with respect. A quote from her: "We respect our sponsors for their contributions, and at the same time our